Don't hate the player, hate the game.
How it goes, family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. Well, it is another beautiful day to be alive and well, as I always say. And but this article that I came across today, it's just like, you know what? I had to talk about it. I'm late, but hey, as they say, better late than never. Now, before I even get to the article, because the day I've had has been an interesting day. The day I've had is, a bit. I've talked to people who are grateful. I've talked to people who are ungrateful. I've talked to people who've had realistic expectations about their life, and I've talked to people who have very, very unrealistic expectations about their life. And talking to people who are in their comfort zone makes me just want to leave them the hell alone. I'm keeping it real in that aspect. And the older I get, the more I keep the comfort zone people want to latch onto me like a freaking leech or a tick, and they want to suck my positive energy out. Oh, they want to suck out my any sort of ambitions I have out of the I like to call the leave it to Beaver lifestyle, the Brady Bunch lifestyle. But I'll leave it at that. All right. So before I even get into the actual subject matter at hand tonight about the dumpster baby who made some money moves, this article really intrigued me because I've seen this for myself. And that's what makes it even more intriguing. So if you're an 80s baby, or if you're a 90s baby, let me know in the chat room. Is there anybody that knows of any family members or friends of the families, or just friends in general, who are in their 70s and who are working because they have to, not because they want to? Let me know in the chat, whether you're watching live or you're watching after I've recorded this live stream. Because the article that was just released 12 hours ago on Yahoo, and you can look it up, by Carrie Gold, says of MoneyWise, says a growing number of American workers are now working past the age of 75, and not just because they are falling short on savings, but experts argue it's not a viable solution to retire. It's not a viable solution to the retirement crisis. And the retirement crisis is something that's not talked about enough. I try to talk about it as much as possible because it's not coming, it's here in America. Now, I'm not being anti-American. This crisis has nothing to do with anybody who's in office, or anybody who was in office, or anybody who wants to run for office. This retirement crisis has happened because of two things: pensions being done with for the last 30 to 50 years, and then people not being financially literate. So it's a combination on both sides. It's very easy, like a child, to always place the blame on somebody else. But eventually, us adults, we have to say, hey, we played a part in it too. And there's certain instances where, hey, we didn't play a part in it and something bad happened to us. So it's not always one-sided. But the economics of it all, especially for the last 10 years, especially during the freaking pandemic, it has been chomped on and chomped on and chomped on since the lockdown of 2020, because people have been getting smarter. People are like, hey, I know that I want to do better. I know that I have an opportunity to do better, but will I actually do my best to try to increase my income? Will I do my best to not only try to increase my income, but will I do my best to invest more and save more? You know, these are the things that need to be discussed more and more, and not just discussed, but implemented on a regular basis. All right. This is not political. Like I said, the economic moves that are made in the United States of America, it's not about who's in the White House, governor's house, or mayor's house. It's all about what you're doing in your house. And then you deal with them at the same time. All right, American politicians aren't the only ones working well into their 70s and beyond. Now, that's another thing that you can take into consideration. There have been a lot of politicians in all levels of government, all parties, who have been working into their 70s, certain instances even 80s and whatnot. All right. But increasingly, people much older than the traditional retirement age of 65 are foregoing days on the golf course or volunteering at bake sales and instead are staying in the office. This is sad, but it's definitely true. One great person who I used to work with, I will not mention her name, but God rest her soul. She was 77 years old when she retired. She looked like she was 50 years old, 55 at the most pleasant woman in spirit I've ever met in my life. And I would never, ever forget her. And that's why when I saw this, um, it hit me, because it reminds me, if you've ever lost anyone who's a loved one in any aspect, certain things will always remind you of them, even if you've lost a picture. You have, the digital, you have the memory ingrained in your mind, and certain things will always trigger um, that, that person because they're gone but not ever forgotten. So this is interesting. So it says the U.S. dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power since 1971. Invest in this stable. I'm not going to talk about investing. Anyways, the Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2021 published figures showing the number of people in the labor force who are 75 and older grew at 53.7% from 2010 to 2020 and projected to grow 96.5% between 2020 and 2023. All right. It's such a dramatic increase that this is the only age group projected to increase its share of the workforce from 8.9% in 2020 to 11.7% in 2030. And as the cost of living goes up, um, as rents go up, as more, cost of housing goes up, inflation with products goes up. It is very crazy times that we're in. And that's why I said it. It's not discussed enough, in my personal opinion. The article says the key reason behind the spike is that people are aging better than in the past. An associate professor of economics, Geoffrey Sanza Botcher of economics, he's associate professor of economics and a research fellow with the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College, told the Associated Press, people are able to work longer because they are healthier and longer, he said. That's good news. Savings for retirement is a growing crisis. Yes, it's good news that people have the ability to work longer, but most people are working longer because they have no choice. My mindset is, well, being rich to me this is me, my definition, is to be able to live life on your terms. Have enough money to say, hey, I'm financially free. If I want to work at a church, volunteer at a bake sale, whatever have you, or I just want to sit on my couch until the day I die. That's what financial freedom is to me. That's what real retirement is to me. Like not the old fashioned way of I'm 65 years old. I'm just going to stop working and stop doing stop doing anything and stop being a productive member of society. No, it's far from that. That's not what, retirement to me is. Retirement has nothing to do with age, has everything to do with income. You have people who are 19 years old who are retired because they went viral online or they came up with a great idea for an app. So it's a different world. But the mindset of the worker only, you know, it's a dying thing. It's a dying breed. The mindset of I'm gonna have my job, raise my family, and die. It's becoming a dying thing in the United States of America. I talk about this all the time. Whether you live in Wyoming, Wisconsin, Mississippi, New York, California, Texas, Florida, do not believe the nonsense. Do not believe the hype. Okay. All right. The bad news is that many seniors don't have the retirement savings they thought they'd have. That's especially the case for those who hadn't coveted jobs with defined benefit pensions or 401ks matching programs. In fact, only 35% of Americans between the ages of 55 and 64, which is to say, those nearing traditional retirement age, have a pension or retirement savings held in a 401k or an IRA, according to the report by the Joint Economic Committee in 2020. And I'm glad I've been investing since my 20s. I wish I would have invested since I was 18, 19 years old. But, because especially I had a lot of my elders telling me, hey, don't do that. I don't trust the stock market, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and I remember back then I was listening to a lot of educated people, and I was like, hey, I was just listening to my HR department talking about, hey, if you invest a certain amount of money in your 401k, this is the projected returns that you will get. Number one. Then number two, you have an option. I remember hearing about individual retirement accounts. Didn't really understand it back then like I do now, but hey, it's a personal version of having a 401k. Once I got the one-on-one aspects of it, I hit the ground running, I started buying. I started investing in it. You know, but the problem is people don't even contribute enough to those kind of things. And that's why the whole thing of actual traditional retirement is a dying breed. Could not put it any other way, family. It is a dying breed for those who are not operating like a corporation. I talk about that. I mean, I wish I need to write a book called Operate Like a Corporation or Lose a Generation. Like that was the last live I did, because that's where we're not heading. That's where we're at. Cannot, and regardless of what your political feelings are, has nothing to do with like I said, you can't argue math. You can argue a lot of things, but you can't argue math. Okay. Anyways, to put it in perspective, the recommended savings for retirement is 6 times one's current income at age 50, according to the report. Meanwhile, even among those Americans between 55 and 64 who have retirement savings, the median account balance is just 88,000, the report says. Another factor motivating seniors to delay retirement is that the longer they work, the more they can collect when they start claiming Social Security. Every year you delay, that's a raise you're giving yourself forever. The individual said. Americans are paying nearly 40% more on home insurance compared to 12 years ago. The crisis isn't felt equally, the article says. Working past 65 isn't an option that's available to all seniors facing retirement savings shortfall, according to the November 2022 report from the New Schools Center for Economic Policy Analysis. Those who work at delivery, construction, janitorial, caregiving, nursing, and farming jobs, for example, are often not physically able to continue to work beyond traditional retirement age. And this is why having backup plans and other skill sets, it's just a mindset you have to have, because nobody can be. That's why a lot of successful general contractors, people who are landscapers, who do janitorial work, people who are electricians, all great blue collar jobs, they end up learning the business aspect of it. They get great at getting the skill sets, but they end up learning the business aspect of it so that they can get their own teams and do side jobs on the side, get contracts, even certain instances to get federal, state, and county and city government contracts, so where that they can they handle the paperwork aspect of things, but they're not just all there, and they slowly but surely graduate from the labor aspect of things, because none of us can do the same thing forever. None of us should want to do the same thing forever. You evolve, like Tupac says, you evolve or you disappear in this life, period. And it is more so, it was true then when he said it back in the 90s, but it's even more so now in 2023. All right. And I'm just keeping it real. All right. So at the end of the day, more and more people are going to suffer, especially people, given the fact that it says the Joint Economic Committee report shows that, people with the median income of 65,000 in 2019, and then certain people were earning 48,000, 47,000, 40,000, and 33,000. Additionally, more than 40% of a lot of people are performing physically demanding jobs in 2018, and the proportion of workers such jobs, meanwhile, was less than 30%. Excuse me. One solution, which is proposed by Siavash Radpour, Associate Research Director of the Retirement Equity Lab at the Schwartz Center, would be to open up opportunities for all older Americans to help them keep working. The solution is to invest more in technology to make workers more productive and reduce physical demands on jobs. Well, yeah, I don't agree with that assessment. I don't hold a PhD, but the real solution is what people like Fatherhood University is doing, what EYL University is doing, what Dr. Boyce Watkins is doing, and any other institutions that talk about financial literacy. The best solution is to handle crisis like this, as far as the retirement crisis, especially like I said, for my generation, the 80s babies and the 90s babies and future generations, is ensuring that people are having economic conversations, ensuring that people are getting life insurance policies, not only on themselves, but on each other, ensure the families operate as a corporation. And they stop this Lone Ranger nonsense so that you can own a multitude of real estate. So everybody's not separately putting the money outside of their family and then outside of the community all at the same time. Then utilizing other people's credit, utilizing other people's business credit, utilizing people as a whole so you can work together as an economic team, because in today's world and moving forward, people are going to be getting screwed more and more, so they think they can just do it by themselves out here. So I keep it real on that aspect. All right. So that's one. That's one down. All right. One down, a couple more to go. Now, I'm going to get to the actual subject matter at hand tonight. And then I want to get to something that I find to be funny. You know, the whole this woman getting arrested in Dubai. I mean, heck, I'm about to go out of the country soon, and I know I'm not going to act a fool. I don't even like to act a fool when I go to another state. So going to somebody else's country, I really don't want to act a fool. Now, this article came out in August of 2022. Baby found in a dumpster, finds multi-million-dollar company and becomes highly respected CEO. All right. For the vast majority of us, the article says life on this planet begins with being born into a loving family. We're cared for from the word go. We're given everything we need to thrive. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case for Freddie Figures, who is 32 years old. In fact, nothing about his life can be termed normal. Mr. Figures was found on the street as a newborn, having been dumped on by his birth mother because she didn't want him. He says, "My mother threw me away just like day-to-day trash," she says. Nathan and Betty Figures, however, wanted a boy and decided to give Freddie a new chance. They opened up their home to little Freddie as adopted parents, giving him the second chance he sorely needed. As per the article on his website, Figures explained, "It's amazing that you can meet people like that. And to this day, I have never met my biological parents. I never had the interest." And before I even go forward, sometimes humanity actually can prove to me in this world that there are still some decent people left. Because last week was a rough week. I lost my wallet, and the next day, somebody actually they looked my address up. They didn't take anything out of my credit cards. They didn't even try to spend any money on my credit cards, and they found my wallet. Every now and then, because usually I don't have much faith in humanity, but there are certain instances where I do have faith in humanity, and I'm very happy for that. And I gave all the men as much cash as I could get because it was going to make my life that much harder, especially with me having a trip come up. And luckily, I've gotten back 90% of my credit cards because I had to replace them all anyways. So yeah. So life is good, and I'm thankful. All right. As Figures grew up, it soon became apparent that he had a gift when it came to the mechanics behind electronic devices. But by his 10th birthday, he had started to reassemble a 1989 computer his dad had given him. Then by the age of 12, he landed his first job as a computer technician. Wow, age 12. Just 3 years later, he started to develop a cloud database in his own backyard, effectively becoming his own boss. Fast forward to adulthood, and Figures, despite never having received a college education, which you don't need one to be a CEO of a company, he had his telecommunications company called Figures Communications. He is now founder and CEO of Figures Wireless, a Black-owned telecommunications firm valued at over $62.3 million that you may have never heard of. The caption of one of YouTube videos reads, not only that, but Figures also has been able to explore his own creativity. When he was young, he began to invest in devices to help his adopted father who had Alzheimer's. That's crazy. Though placing a two-way communication device and GPS tracker in a pair of shoes his dad wore, Figures could locate and talk to him at any time. And that is a beautiful example of technology being used for good. Now, Figures is focusing its efforts on creating devices to help sufferers of diabetes. Back in August, figures wrote on Facebook, diabetes is a major public health problem, which it is, that is approaching epidemic proportions globally. The prevalence of diabetes is rising at an alarming rate nationwide. 1 in 12 adults has diabetes, and 2 types of diabetes has become commonplace childhood diseases as well, especially given the fact that how unhealthy most of the food is. So he says, for too long, large diabetic medical supply corporations has made billions of dollars profiting from this horrible disease by taking advantage of consumers, yes, with outrageous costs. We could have easily sold our invention to any medical supply company, but that would only be adding to the problem. Yes, and like corporate greed is just doesn't get more American than that. We have, he stated, and I quote, "We have solutions that in one and that all in one, and it remotely manages diabetes 24/7. But best of all, affordable for all patients. We put people over profit." And at 29 years old, Mr. Figures, I got nothing but respect for you for that one. He says he certainly lived an inspiring life so far, and one that he'll no doubt will no doubt be hearing more of in the future. And I got nothing but love and respect for him. And the thing is, a lot of people that grow up in those situations, they could have 2 mindsets. They could either grow up being angry and bitter, or they could grow up and being productive. What's your excuse? I cannot put it any other way. All right. Because this goes to the other article that I'm going to read now. And it's unfortunate, but it is a current article, and I got to talk about it. So this article was released yesterday, June 22nd. A Texas influencer is detained in Dubai for screaming, may have been the victim of an elaborate scheme. Now, once again, I've never been to Dubai. I'm not 100% familiar with the customs, but I know usually when you go to a Arabic Muslim country, and I have nothing against people who have Arabic or Muslim descent, so let's not go to that nonsense. But you have to abide by certain rules and regulations, just like in any country. When you come to America, a lot of people don't do it, but you're supposed to abide by rules and regulations. You go to another country, like, hey, I'm going to Canada in a couple of days. I have to abide by rules and regulations, But the woman is now prohibited from leaving the UAE after a man filed a legal case against her for screaming, may actually be the victim of an elaborate scheme. Tierra Allen, 29 years old, was riding in a rental car as a passenger in Dubai on April 28th when the driver, a friend from Nigeria, got into a minor fender bender. Allen's mother, Tina Baxter, told Insider. Allen told her mother that she was briefly handcuffed when local police arrived at the scene. The car, meanwhile, was towed back to the rental car company with her personal belongings, including her phone, wallet, and passport. Still inside, she was then released, and police told her to go to the car company for her belongings. When she went to the rental company, the name of which the U.S. consulate in Dubai advised the family not to publicize, to get her stuff, its staff demanded thousands of dollars in return. An argument followed, and Allen says the staffers coddled her into yelling. An employee at the rental car company reported Allen to police for violating a broadly defined law in the UAE that criminalizes things like swearing, rudeness, and insulting gestures. Well, that'll never happen in the United States of America because that's on a daily basis. She didn't get arrested for the accident. She got arrested for going into the rental car company asking for items that were left in the car when they opened the case. Baxter told Insider she became the main target, which they realized she was a U.S. citizen. Rahad Sterling, a UK-based human rights advocate who runs an organization called Detained in Dubai that gives legal assistance to foreigners in the UAE, told Insider that Allen's story is something she's seen before multiple times. I just had 3 Americans in the past couple of months who said they were in a pretty much same situation. They ended up paying $20,000 that they didn't owe to a rental car company just to get their passports back so that they could go home. Wow. I don't think I need to read any more about this because this has been talked about enough. But at the end of the day, you know, the scammers are all over the world, all over the United States. It's hard to deal with. Honestly, personally, if I ever do go to Dubai, I don't need a rental car, especially after reading the story. I think I'll just try to take public transportation. Hopefully, they have and Uber in Dubai, and go from there. And definitely go with a group of people. But that's just you're in a foreign country, the rules. It is what it is. But I hope that she's able to get out and not have to pay $20,000 to $30,000. Because I know scam culture in a lot of countries in the parts of the world that I've not been to, but from my research, scam culture is very big, and unfortunately, it's just a way of life in a lot of countries. Not going to say in Dubai because I've never been to Dubai, but scam culture is very big and it is very real, and I'll leave it at that. All right. So, on that note, last but not least, because I just wanted to do this because this will be my last actual live tonight. I mean, this will be my last live for the week. I'll be going live on Instagram. So if you're not, please check out Larry's Anything Goes LLC on Instagram. I'll be doing my word of the days, and maybe I'm sure I'll definitely be posting videos when I get back from my trip, posting videos about my trip and all that fun stuff. So, but anyways, here's 15 frugal life skills to master in 2023. Number one, budgeting. And especially with the way that things are from a financial standpoint, and you're not just the global economy. If you're not trying to budget, you're basically screwing yourself. Cooking, I think this is one asset, and it's sad I don't know how to cook. I need to learn how to cook because this is one asset that can save you so much money in today's world, especially when you're dealing with living in the time frame where you have Grubhub and DoorDash. They're great services to utilize. However, you definitely want to pay quadruple the price. Number three, grocery shopping. I'm trying to do more of that now so that I don't have to. I got used to using Amazon, and I know that Instacart is cheaper than using Amazon, but I try to just have to. I tried to avoid delivery fees and having to get tips. So I've been making more trips to the grocery store than ever whenever I'm out and about. Number four, gardening. I think that's a beautiful thing. The home-based gardening is beautiful, and then it can save you a lot of money when you're growing your own vegetables and your own fruits. Basic home repairs. It's always a beautiful thing when you can. These are basic life skills that can help anybody save money. It might not save you time, but it definitely save you money. Sewing is a beautiful thing, especially the way that clothing cheap. The material of clothing is so cheap nowadays that it's not even funny, and they tear, they shrink just like that. Um, Homemade cleaning products, anything homemade is great, especially if it's efficient. Energy efficiency, move towards not using so many lights. And so many of us, especially during the pandemic, got used to having 1,000 lights on, TVs on, and even myself, I'm learning to, cut back on that. Public transportation / bike riding. Bike riding is probably one of the best exercises one can get. Now, is it going to make you a super duper built guy? No, but I think it's one thing that can help out and helps the environment out. Price comparison, that's always a beautiful thing. I try not to get too crazy with my spending. The most times I do any real outrageous spending is usually when I'm on vacation, because that's why they call it vacation. Negotiation, I think negotiation is just a part of life. You need to negotiate the terms of a sale, a buy, your life, because if not, then you'll be living your life under somebody else's boot, and then you'd be wondering why you can't speak the truth. So it is what it is. Secondhand shopping. A friend of mine from high school does a lot of secondhand shopping. I'm not even mad at that because like my mom donates a lot of clothes. I'm probably in the future going to be donating a lot of clothes because there's a lot of clothes I don't use. But luckily, I don't shop for clothes that often, and I usually find a pretty decent deal. And I'm good at maintaining not only just secondhand shopping, but be good and frugal at maintaining your clothes. Take care and take pride in your stuff. So that way, one, you look good and you look professional. But then number two, you save money because you don't have to keep buying a lot of clothes and whatnot. 13, basic car maintenance. If you know how to do the basics, it'll save you a lot of time and money. Preserving food. I don't like to waste food at all, and I try to preserve it as much as possible. Investing, last but not least. I'll read this part because this is one of the most important parts outside of being healthy. A basic understanding of investing can significantly enhance your wealth over time. The earlier you start investing, the more you can benefit from compound interest and an essential component of wealth growth. And the thing is, so many people, and I've been guilty of this myself, so many of us get used to being lazy. So many of us get used to life being so convenient that we forget about the basics in life. And because we forget about the basics in life, we forget about being able to find new deals, enhance our skill sets, get better skill sets, and make life better for us all around, become well-rounded all at the same time. So just something to take into consideration. and you'll be able to go from there, family. But on that note, hopefully you guys have a great evening. Do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your life. Do what you got to do in this life to get by, but don't just do it getting drunk and always getting high, because the best way for you to stay fly is to just kick back, relax, and just tell your haters it's time for you all to say goodbye. Why ask why? My oh my, because I want to look at the beautiful sky, be happy and be grateful, and be faithful to the things that matter. And I don't have to live my life trying to climb somebody else's ladder, because I know mentally and physically my life is going to get nicer and fatter. And as Bubba Sparks would say, it's time for y'all to stop messing around with that booty chat. But anyways, I'm not going to act like I'm a hardcore rapper, but I am going to say that at the end of the day, it's time for us to start operating more like a corporation. It's time for us to stop using our excuses to not be able to make some money moves. It's time for us to stop using our excuses for us to move forward. It's time for us to stop saying I can't and start saying I can. Quoting KRS-One. All right, because when you say you can, you might not be able to do it now, but you'll be able to do it later, because you're not walking around angry and upset and look like a basically egregious hater. So I leave it at that. That's something to think about, family. Something to take into consider, because too many of us let our dreams die in the ocean and go floating down somebody else's river. So it is what it is. So do the great 3 free things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a great day. And as I always say, make money move, so you're going to live, bro, like a fool. Hopefully you guys have a night. I'm glad I was able to get this done at a reasonable time. And this was kind of a last minute thing, because I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but I did it, and it's all good in the neighborhood. So take care and do what you got to do at the end of the day. Keep it real, or as Bun B say, keep it trill, all the way real. And I will not be going live. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL, Stash, Acorns, Crypto.com, all those great platforms. Those platforms, you'll be able to make some money moves. All the links are in the description. Don't forget to check out my online store. And, we're going to go from there. We're going to keep this train rolling. It's we're almost in August. So I think 2023 is basically done when you just think about it. But, it's time for us to be grateful, and it's time for us to stop being hateful. Stop wasting time with people that don't matter. Stop wasting time on subject matters that don't matter. I think that's the biggest one that I cannot keep stressing enough. Stop wasting time on subject matters that don't matter. All right. So I leave it at that, and it is what it is. Take care, family. Have a great evening. And on that note, I'm out.
Mike, now. Mike, now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot, to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another, and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel. As you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.